Sam says is rank and rent still possible in 2024? Yes, rank and rent SEO. That is exactly what I'm teaching in the DHA program. That is not a joke, guys. That is exactly what I'm teaching. And it's not necessarily that I mean, because that's what I was just talking about, guys. You can build the sites first and then pitch those sites through your or point to them. The directory hybrid agency model, guys. The reason why there is a hybrid in the name of that program is because it's a hybrid model. It's a hybrid between lead generation and traditional retainer-based SEO services or retainer-based client work. Let's put it that way, because it's not just marketing and SEO, it's business optimization. That's what we're doing. It's not just SEO lead generation. So anyway, the hybrid model is a combination of lead generation and retainer-based services, right? For people that are new or that lack confidence in their abilities or their abilities to, or lack confidence in their selling, right? Then it's build the assets first. Once they're ranking, then you use that, you target those areas where you have ranking assets for your outreach, right? For prospecting. And then you sell. When you're selling, you point to those assets that's the area for this. The ranking assets for their products and services in their own area. Look, we're already outranking you in your own area for your own products and services. Do you want this? We can do this for you. We can assign this site to you. Just sign up for our services here. So yes, you can either rent the sites out on a flat fee rental, monthly fee, which is what we're doing at $99 a month, or you can build the site and then use that as a sales tool to point to when you're pitching traditional retainer-based services. And then once you land a client for traditional retainer-based services where you're going to do SEO on their GBP and on maybe perhaps their website as well, but can't you then also add that lead generation site to their as like a value add, right? A value add-on, so to speak. Like, hey, if you sign up with us in the next 24 hours, the next 72 hours, whatever, for the $1,000 a month Google Business SEO service, whatever it is that your service offerings are, we will assign this lead generation asset that we already have ranking in your area to your project, essentially giving you any of the leads that come from that property, right? So it's a hybrid model because you can still rent the site out, you can still do pay per lead if you want, or revenue share, which are all lead generation methods, lead generation monetization methods, or you can do traditional retainer-based services or a hybrid of both, right? Where you can do lead gen through assets that you have and still do retainer-based services for them. So is it still possible? Absolutely. And I think it's a good model right now because I will not work on spammed GBPs anymore, other than some of my own that I still have. I won't do it. It's, in my opinion, it's stupid to build your business on foundation that Google can pull the rug out from underneath of you at any given time. Tired of it. Tired of spending money, resources, effort, time on building up an asset that is a spammed GBP listing that at any moment could be suspended and I won't be able to re-verify it. I'm tired of it. I'm not doing that. I'm not teaching that anymore. That's why I developed the directory hybrid agency model, was so that you build organic lead generation assets that then you can plug a GBP into when you get a paying retainer-based client, so that you're not worrying about having your business built upon, a house of cards, so to speak. Your business is now built upon things that you have a lot more control over. Don't get me wrong, Google could de-index sites and all that kind of stuff, but it's a hell of a lot less likely, especially if you're not doing anything spammy, which what we're doing is just solid on-page SEO and doing the proper keyword and competition research before entering into a market, so that we're only targeting markets that are going to require very little additional SEO work other than just strong on-page. And that's the whole program in a box, guys, because I want people scaling. I don't know why SEOs, and I did it too in the past, but so I'm not above this. I've just learned through experience not to do it anymore. And that is, why do SEOs always want to go target the big markets that have high search volume? Those are the ones that are incredibly difficult. And think about this. If you're new and you don't have a lot of experience at ranking stuff and you go pick a market that's difficult, it's going to be discouraging because it might take months and months and months before you see any significant results. If you go find in low competition areas where people are still spending money to generate leads for those search queries, which you can very easily tell by just looking at Google Ads, determining, are there advertisers advertising in this specific area that we've identified as low SEO competition? And as long as there's advertisers bidding for keywords in that area, then you know people are spending money on generating leads from Google, right? So why not target those areas? And I teach that. We have a full SOP for keyword and competition and location research. It teaches you how very quickly to identify low competition areas that then you go target with organic assets that are will require very little, if any, off-page work, meaning backlinks. So you just deploy the assets and then let them sit. What I call it seasoning. You just plug them into a rank tracker, plug them into Search Console so you can see when they start to receive traffic and everything else, and then leave them alone. Give it 6 or 8 weeks. A lot of these sites are going to rise up in the search results and start having rankings with no additional work whatsoever. And then those are the ones that you can monetize first through a rent. You can rent them, you can sell the leads, or you can add them to the client, like as a value add-on if a client signs up with you for under traditional retainer-based services, right? And again, you're not worrying about GBPs then. Your client will have a GBP. So that is what you work on as far as GBPs. But for everything else, it's organic assets that you own and control. It's a much better model, in my opinion, guys, because it's solid. It's a lot less likely that Google's going to take it from it, right? And again, I'll just demonstrate this. Let's take a look at this. Here's an example of one that I just deployed 2 weeks ago. Just 2 weeks ago. Look at this site, guys. 0 backlinks. Well, I might have built a backlink. I don't know if I did or not. I know I built one to Williamson Felling Pro, which is another one that I deployed last week. Stand by. I think there's 0 backlinks for this, but we're going to look. Just okay, 1 backlink. So I lied. Just show the screen. And that's weird. I don't even know where that came from. That's not one of my links. Yeah, I don't know where that's somebody else linked to that. That's not a link that I placed. This is not, I would never place a link into something like this. So this looks like, I don't know who did this or what, but that is not from me. So anyways, this is just to show you this right here, chester.felling.pro is a LLG site. This is the template that I was talking about earlier. It's an LLG site that I deployed in the middle of May, right around May 10th or something like that. Anyways, 0 backlinks. Well, you saw that 1 backlink. It wasn't that I built. Somebody else built that link, and that link has 0 value. Look at it. 0 value. Okay. And look at these rankings. Again, 0 backlinks, just built the site, set it for indexing, and then plugged it in here so that I can track rankings, right? And take a look at this, guys. We've got 11 keywords out of the top 10. Not bad for a site that's brand new that has no backlinks. So the point, and by the way, this is a new site. You can see that it's climbing up on its own. And just leave them alone. That's what I'm saying. The goal is to build a bunch of sites, and then just some of them are going to rise up and produce results with no additional work. Those are the ones that you monetize first. Then when you get some money coming in from those assets that you've monetized, then you can start to invest in building links to the assets that aren't ranking well yet. But now you're using your client's money to build your assets up, that then you monetize those when they start to perform. But you don't have to fund this out of pocket, right? You fund it with your client's money. So that's why it's good to do the keyword and competition research, identify low competition areas, go deploy sites in dozens of areas out there, and let's say only 30% of them ever perform. If you built 30 freaking sites out there and 10 of them are now performing, now you've got 10 assets that you can then go monetize now with no additional work. And by the way, doesn't that also mean there's no maintenance because they're already ranking with no backlinks? So those are the easiest ones to manage and maintain. But now you've got revenue coming in that you can then go invest in building links to the other 20 assets out of those 30 that aren't performing yet. And once they start to rank, go monetize those, right? And you just keep repeating that process, guys. One industry. Don't reinvent the wheel and go out and do all this work across 18 industries, which I know most of you are going to do. Pick one industry and scale the shit out of that. That's how you make money, not by going out and reinventing the wheel for every new project because you have to go do all the keyword research and all this and all that. Don't do that. Pick one, figure out what works best in that industry, and then scale it. Just duplicate over and over and over again at different locations. Make your job easy, guys, not hard, right? LOG sites template right there. That is exactly what I'm teaching. That's a high-level site deployed a month ago, if that. and it's ranking quite well with no backlinks at all. So if I start building links to this project will start to perform better. But I like to leave them sit so that I don't want to skew the results for my students and say, and by going and building a bunch of links to them and then saying, pointing to rankings when I built a bunch of links. I don't want that. I want to show how these projects will perform with no links, right? Or very few. So